What is going on, everybody? My name is Oz. We are here for another episode of the Omi-Cast. This is going to be episode 8, if I remember correctly. And we got some cool stuff coming up for you guys, some interesting discussions. But before we get straight into that, let's go through the intros. If you don't know us already, my name is Oz.
What's going on, guys? It's DD's here, and it has been a while, but glad to be back. I think everyone's tired, but we're going to try and make it fun. Hope you guys enjoy.
Hey guys, it's me, Defmon. It's been a month or so with everybody. Things have been going on, everybody's kind of tired, but we're here to bring some more entertainment for you guys.
I'm Nada.
And your mic just got silent. But I think this is the first week that Dev didn't do a silly voice at the beginning. You're slacking.
I'm just really tired. That's what archaeological field school does to you. You get dirty, greasy, and tired.
You still have the duck in the back, though.
One?
You do have your duck. You do have your duck. And yeah, you're on that side. So
that's lovely. See, I'm hitting something here in this new environment, so see if there's any sharp eyes out there that I can see what's there.
Speaking of new environments, I think Sirona's on the discussion later on.
But yeah,
later on.
Later on. Do you want to talk about it right now?
No, earlier.
No.
We have to get the early thing first.
Then let's talk about something that comes a little earlier than Sirona, and that's the early game.
But, well, that doesn't even make sense.
Those
It
puns.
does.
Earlier than Sirona is the early game? No, that's
Yeah.
Sirona has no early game.
Sirona is early game.
It just starts out.
We're compensating for Sirona because it has no early game.
But maybe that can change later on. But
we'll see.
Let's talk about the early game of Awesomenauts. What you do, what you shouldn't do, what should you focus on, so on and so forth. So I mean, one huge thing for me in the early game, being a Ted main, is farming, and obviously that's a huge part of Nauts, being able to farm and just get yourself up to those upgrades where you can just overpower and get that snowball effect going. So I want to talk about farming and how important it is. Obviously, farming, kind of subcategories of farming, laning in that aspect. So let's get on the topic of farming and sub-laning. Nada, what are your opinions, or what should you be focusing on when you're looking to farm and kind of lane in itself?
Oh, well, gee, you could kill the droids. That is.
Well, I'm saying,
possibly.
What should you do when you're farming and your opponent attacks you, or you're getting into a team fight when you're farming? Something along the lines. Obviously, farming, you're killing your droids.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, there's just like what I want to talk about is more how you farm, because some Nauts have to use their abilities in order to get an effective farm, while others can easily use their AA to get the droids and get the job done. Head, for instance, can pretty much tear it apart, like straight away with the shotgun. You get the piercing AoE, you just you're hacking away. But other Nauts maybe need to clear their droids. For instance, Lone Star, you use your mites to sort of get that extra clear going because your AA is kind of weak early game. So there's these kind of there's a difference between what kind of Naut you have and if you should use your abilities or not, because those that don't have to, they have a huge advantage in early team fights because you'll always be on cooldown, whereas, for instance, a Lone Star may not be on cooldown even though there's been no enemies because he's clearing.
Well, I have a question for that. You're saying how Nauts are dependent on either their auto attack or their skills to farm. So are you saying that Nauts that have a harder time to farm early game should maybe piggybank?
Well, see, they're
tactically.
The
tactical piggy bank.
Why don't you expand on that a bit?
The tactical piggy bank. Well, actually, before I go into the tactical piggy bank, I wanted to speak about using your abilities on the droids. You can get caught out, and that's one of the major times when your team is going to suffer. If you do get caught out when your abilities are on your cooldowns because you use them to clear droids, it creates kind of this vacuum effect where you're kind of going to get sucked up by the entirety of the opposing team and collapsed on because your abilities are off cooldown. And if your team can't get there and protect you, maybe tank a few hits or so, that's going to be a kill just solely based off the fact of that your abilities are on cooldown. So going into the tactical piggy bank, as we say, this is a piggy bank that's not used at the beginning of the game, and it's not used at the mid game. It's used in between early game and mid game. This is when you kind of get one leg up on your opponent. Maybe you picked up a kill or two, and you're 100x solar closer to your next upgrade. If you piggy bank, you're going to forfeit that last utility slot, but you're also going to be able to get that upgrade on the spot. And you can kind of get back into the action with that and create that gap. And when you're tactically piggy banking, you're looking to create the snowball effect, pick up those kills a lot quicker, maybe overpower them a lot quicker. But like I said, you are forfeiting a utility slot in the end, so it kind of does have its drawbacks, especially on certain characters. Nibs you can get away with tactically piggy banking on because boots are kind of mundane towards the later stages of the game, especially with the teleport. That being said, I see Nada shaking his head at me. He's upset. He's spaghetti with me right now.
No. I was actually like, yeah, I'm just like, waddling around because time.
Yeah, why not?
But I mean, that's my whole thing on tactically piggy banking. Certain characters can get away with it, whereas other characters, you kind of really need that third utility slot, depending on builds, of course. That being said, the laning in the early game, deities, what's the deal with the laning in early game?
Laning in early game is pretty much sizing up your opponent, in my opinion, since in any game that we play, we have the 3-on-3, and then those people, unless they literally want to go all in and start a huge team fight before there are any droids, you got to think about why they want to do that. Either you know your team composition is so overpowering to the other team composition that you guys can get an easy 1 or 2 kills. But if not, think about what you guys are doing. You guys are engaging in a team fight, lowering your health, but you don't have any droids to push. If someone has to retreat, they can easily retreat, grab health, come back, and then they got to push with the droids because that's just timing. So we definitely have that early, maybe 20-second game period where you can't really do anything. So what do? You gain dominance over mid, you take control, and then you hold it until your droids are actually there. Or you kill creeps. This is something that I was definitely suffering for or with until I started playing and I learned from teammates and everything like that. Kill the creeps when you can. They give solar. They're not being put to use until after a team fight, and they respawn super quick. So that's a great way to get your creep kill count up, as well as get additional solar in. So the laning general rule is that once actually droids are in the field, if there is a team fight and you know your team can handle it, I would personally go and clear the other lane. It's split push, you clear the lane, go back up, join the team fight, and then delay to get those droids to the turret, and you can possibly just get a kill. I see way too many people try to clear a lane by themselves, and as you guys were saying, they waste their skills, get caught out because they're alone in the lane, and people can jump on it because with the 2 droids there and you're trying to clear them, you're on the minimap. You're easy to gank, you're alone, and you're helpless without your skills. So laning is tougher than it sounds. It's definitely something that you have to be aware of the minimap for, aware of the time and everything, and aware of pushes. If you're a lane ahead, then you can easily force the other team to go back and gain mid dominance. Other than laning, there's a lot of things. I actually haven't thought about this topic, but now it's just coming to me. There's a lot of things going on with early game. The tactical piggy bank, laning, everything like that.
Before you go into your early game discussion, I want to call out the early game on Ogion. If they get invis first, wait it out. Don't look to gather or gain control of mid. They have somebody invis. You're not going to do anything.
There's no droids.
There's no droids on map yet. They're just going to burn invis, camp behind your turrets, mess around, tell your team how your day was. You know, don't look to fight someone invis when no droids are on map. You don't need to lane yet, and you're not looking for kills. It's the start of the game, and it's a very quick way to lose some solar. And time.
B-Ray, get blind, enable helicopter, win.
Oh, jeez. Oh, look, there's an eyeball floating right there. I wonder why. Oh, it's somebody who's invisible.
Now, back to you, because I know I definitely interrupted you, and you definitely lost track of what you were going to discuss, so I'll leave it back to you.
I totally remember it. Yeah, the piggybacking and everything like that, but it's not really a next topic or subject to talk about. It's just something I want to throw out there. But that's why I think you see a lot of Vinnies just go straight into Farm Cloud instead of anything damaging, because they want to get that solar up. I don't know. Does someone agree or disagree with me on that? Like, what's the play behind Solar Cloud?
I see two different. Like, I play Vinny quite a lot actually, and Vinny's will either do Solar Cloud or go rush damage, and for two different reasons. Personally, I like to rush Solar Cloud, just because I feel like you get more out of it if you rush it early game. Also, it gives him his sustain option with Solar Crabburger, so not only you're able to stay in lane longer, but you're able to have more presence on the map as you go throughout the game. But if you rush damage, you try to kill your enemies. If you can't, then that's a gamble that really doesn't pay off sometimes.
So that being said, with the early game, there are a few other things that you really need to take into account in the early game. And one huge thing is deciding whether or not to engage in early game team fights. And this is where, as a caster, I see a lot of teams decide to get involved with these early game fights and forfeit unnecessary kills, whether it be they're trying to retake ground or they're trying to focus someone out. You have to be very careful with your engagements in the early game. Obviously, if a team can get their early game grind on very quickly and pick up a lot of kills, and even if they tactically piggy bank, that's just more of the snowball effect that they're going to create. So you have to be very careful when choosing your fights. Be very selective with them. Don't enter a fight that you won't be able to come out with a retreat on the other team or a kill for your team. And that just goes to something that I say every week. Just because you didn't get a kill doesn't mean you didn't win. Getting a retreat and retaking ground, retaking mid control on most of these maps is very powerful, especially on Ogi-On. And now that Sirona's kind of changed up a little bit, mid control is going to be ever more so just more important now, because
I honestly think it's less important than it has been, but we'll get to that later.
Not at all, and I will disagree with you on that later. But going back to this early game, how do you guys think that early game varies on different maps? Let's go over the old Sirona quickly.
Old Sirona, you want to get to the mid fastest to control that worm, and because there's so much solar underneath that worm, and that's basically rushing to the mid, just kind of like you'd rush to mid on Aguilon, as just kind of controlling the area as much and as quickly as possible.
Sirona is also very easy to get initial kill on, because if both teams are rushing towards mid, you have the top second lane where people can't really jump. They have to go to mid to use the first two platforms underneath the bouncers to get up and escape, or they have to go all the way around. So if you have any kind of snare or displacement or just pure burst, even at early game, it is very possible to get a kill and then just secure mid even more, because then a 2v3 you won't be challenged.
Lip jumping on Sirona to get into mid.
People got to learn that. Very true.
Very quickly retake it. Nada, your opinion on the early game on Sirona, please.
Yeah, see, that's sort of
non-existent.
Yeah, no. Let's try to make this constructive. So you have the game, and it basically revolves around get in the mid, who locks down mid, gets to lock down bottom lane. So that's out of the question. Unless you have nodes that are specific in the sense that they can actually flush out mid from a safe distance, or go in through it, and then it depends on a lot of things like Frog, Lone Star, Raylan. All those people can in some way clear out mid versus different kind of comms.
You forgot one of the most important.
If you want to
Ted. Ted and Durple. You guys hate Durple, but you know what? I've been rocking the meanest support Durple over the past week, and I'm gonna make a month.
You've been draining.
I tell you right now, it is a scary thing. A support Durple, full snares. That's it. Full snare build and hope for the best.
And hope.
And hope. I say hope because I hope my team can get the kills after I snare them.
Snares and hope. Hashtag snares and hope.
But no, Durple's a really good clear, and Ted, his bottom. You put a Ted on the bottom lane on any map.
Bottom of the
you can effectively clear out anything in mid, even if it's for a second. Whether you're doing damage or just creating that space to move your opponents and displace them for a few seconds, that's going to give the time that your team needs to get in there and retake control of that. So obviously, we've been talking about early game for a long time now. And we've kind of came to this group consensus that mid control is one of the prime factors of the early game and kind of setting the stage for that. And we've talked about Sirona a little bit, but Ogi-On, mid control, go for it. Dev.
invisibility orb. That's all that can be said. And sometimes the best thing to do with invisibility orb is sometimes you waste it so your opponent can't get it, depending on your team comp. Or otherwise, you hold the invisibility orb, you wait for your enemies to get close, and then you grab it to make the most of the invisibility. Other than that, you want to be jumping between the lanes and keep basically the pressure going. And on bottom lanes specifically, you want to be able to take care of anybody who jumps through the middle and just kind of capitalize on that burst. Some characters have a harder time with the mobility, like Voltar and Swiggins, just kind of going up and down through the lanes, and you want to capitalize on characters like that. And if you have characters like that, you might want to hold a lane specifically while you have somebody split push.
Also, when for Argon, if the team who asserts dominance over mid pushes in a little bit into the creep zone, I know Team Ape does this, me and Oz do it all the time, we just push in and wait for one of those quick people, because usually a team, they won't go out together. It's not very organized in pubs. So you'll have that one quick character like a Coco or Froggy just try to rush the invisibility orb and try to steal it from the other team. And if all three of us are there, we can easily get that first initial kill just from straight burst, grab the invisibility orb, and either wait for droids or see what the other two are doing. So pushing forward on Aguilon a little bit, not overextending too much where you're trapped in their creep zone, might be a good play. I don't know how it works out. It's definitely team composition based. So
No, and you pointed out that we do that a lot, and I think that's one tactic that's really not looked at as often as we like, actually. Pushing in on Augyon, even if you get the invisibility orb, most teams get the invisibility orb, retreat back, try and get a jungle camp kill. If you get the invisibility orb and you notice that one or two of them are out of position, just rush it. There's no reason not to rush it. Droids are not on map yet. You have the invisibility orb. Just run in there. And you know what's the worst that could happen? All right, you get killed. Fair enough. Chances are you're going to take one with
That's
them.
pretty awful, though.
But you're sacrificing one person, and I know I'm kind of being hypocritical because I said earlier you don't want to rush in if your opponent has the invisibility, or actually it's not hypocritical. Excuse me.
No, it's not.
No, this is the complete opposite.
Contradicting.
It's contradicting.
Contradicting myself. But
Yes.
if you have invis, rush. If you don't have invis, stay behind your turrets. It's as simple as that. So that's Augyon. Now Ribbit early
Before you
games.
move
Yeah,
on
go.
to Ribbit, there's one last thing I'd like to point out that people should do more on Aguilon, is that when you hear the noise of somebody taking it, you should immediately get into a safe position and then type out 1 minute afterwards, after they took the invisibility orb, because the orb itself spawns every minute after it's taken. So if you can keep a track of the time it spawns, you have an idea when to get in there and basically fight them for the orb to stop them from getting it consecutively.
And if you're not using voice chat, if you see a frog pick up invis, type out to your teammate that the frog has invis.
Oh,
Because
just type frog.
Yeah,
People
or
will
just
know.
type frog.
Yeah.
But now that we've kind of gone over Augyon, let's discuss Ribbit.
Kill
What
the
do you
creeps.
do on Ribbit in the
I wanna do this.
early
Solar bosses.
game?
Well, I don't think
That's
solar
from the
bosses.
2-minute mark.
Yeah, the 2-minute mark would be
it's-
solar bosses.
It is still early game, relatively, though.
Very true. Once solar bosses spawn, if you have the damage for it or just a team attack on the solar boss, I would definitely go for it. But one very successful, very, very tiny tip that works wonders: kill the creeps on the opposite team's side. Because Ribbit is so small, if you can get those creeps, you can safely back up into mid, either start a team fight or they'll just let you have it. And if you kill the creeps and there is a team fight right after that, you have creeps on your side for the health regen, and they don't. So you basically either get the team fight because they don't have enough health and you'll get a kill, or completely assert dominance and take mid until the droids are there. And Ribbit's a small map, so the early game of just that sizing up period is small. There's usually always a fight in the mid of Ribbit.
Fair enough. I mean, we always, whenever we're playing, whether it be pre-made or duo or whatever, we always kind of rush into mid and push into their creeps at the beginning of the match. And I said on Augyon, I'll say it again for Ribbit. For the early game, make sure you have that mid, because that is going to set the tone for every battle after. If you're positioning yourself correctly in mid, you'll be able to easily force those team fights and easily pick up kills depending on how well your team can collapse. And that just goes for one of my other points in regards to the early game. Rely on your teammates. You know, you yourself are not going to be able to pick up a kill 1v1 by yourself, depending on what character you're playing.
Yeah, I would
say.
say any character couldn't really pick people off like that. Every character.
Well, I'm just talking about for the early game, like within the first 5 minutes. So that to
Even
me,
then.
you kind of have to rely on your teammates to be able to get the burst down very quickly, and avoid the 1v1s is my huge thing in the early game. Just stick with your team. That's my huge tip.
That goes for everything, I'd say.
Well, it depends what character you're on. Later on in the game, if you're playing a Coco and have silver coating and max blaze with slow, you don't have to be with your team at all times. You can be anyone out. You don't need your team anymore. A 3v3 just became a 1v2v3. But, yeah. I mean, with certain characters, it's completely dependent on that. Like I said, Coco, under those circumstances, you don't have to be with your team. A Vinny, he doesn't really have to be with his team all the time. He can get his farm going depending on where he is. And 9 times out of 10, if you see a Solar Cloud Vinny, he's going to be laning by himself because he needs to get that solar, and he doesn't want his team eating up the solar from him. So stick with your team in the early portions of the game. In the later portions of the game, you can kind of gauge out how much damage you can deal without being collapsed upon, and just make smart decisions. Rethink everything. If you think that going this direction is a good decision, take another second, think about it. Is it still a good decision? Okay, let's do it. So now, one other thing, and I don't know who put this into this discussion, but having a 10-second barrier at the start.
That's something I saw in the forums. Yes. I can't remember who posted it, but that was a really cool idea, I thought.
That's a great idea.
Just don't even have it time-based. Just say, all right, as soon as everyone has touched the ground, you can start the game.
No, I would disagree. I think the 10-second time barrier would definitely load or play the game better, because we see a lot of competitive teams, they push out together. You'll see 3 people match their speeds, even if one character is quicker, because they'll want to push as a team instead of one person. And that 10-second barrier allows you to buy your upgrades. It produces the time needed for people who are lagging to actually reach the ground and successfully be ready to play. And I think that will amplify the early game, non-existent or not, in Serona, but it will just force 3 people at a single moment to push out, instead of that occasional one frog or one Coco bum rushes you for no reason and then just retreats back waiting for their team. Like, what's the point of that? Let everyone be ready and everyone fight.
I wanted to at least have some sort of connection when everyone is down, when everyone is touched down, then maybe have 5 seconds or so. I just want to make sure that it actually, the loading time is fair for everybody. That's what we're trying to eliminate here. So it needs to be.
One thing that I actually want to say is that host gets into the map earlier. Yep. So if the host is a frog and it's on Ogion, you bet your ass that he's going to get invis before anybody's even halfway to the invis. So I think that kind of 10 seconds will allow, as you guys said before, but everybody to kind of touch down and just get boots on the ground first before you see a frog within the first 8 seconds on a match on Ogion getting invis, and your team hasn't even reached your creeps yet. So I think that even a small barrier, 5 to 7 seconds, or anywhere in between that time limit, is more than ample enough to have everybody on ground and buying upgrades. And I think that the barrier, which you're talking about, should be right before your drill. So right in between the drill and the store. Or, it could be right by the barriers or right by your top 2 turrets. So you can kind of see who's going to go where in the lanes. But that makes it more MOBA-ish, I would say.
It does. I'd say that it's probably better right by the store and the solar drill, just because that encourages people to line up together and see kind of what people have built. Also, there's kind of that tension of buying and selling items while looking at enemies' builds, just to kind of see where they're sitting at as well at the start of the game.
And always keep an eye on upgrades at all points during the game, because a Coco who is doing 400 base ball damage is all of a sudden doing 670 ball damage, and you didn't realize that. That's basically catching you off guard, and she's going to pick up a kill on you. That being said, AI Station, and then we'll go into our second topic of discussion, which is going to be the Vault. So AI Station, the new AI Station, early strats, and just early game on that. Dev, go for it.
Okay, early game is really interesting because you have the additional mechanic of the droids, the flying droids, the hummingbird droids, whatever you like to call them. So I see a lot of people rush out, push the button as soon as possible, the droid gets to the tower and it dies instantly. And that's a really big waste of solar and gives the enemy a chance to pick up that 5 solar for free and reduces the amount of times you can use that droid wave early on. And I think the best way to use it is just to wait till you have 3 flyers and then send in the push when you have an opportunity to. In addition to that, the best thing you want to do is hold the top lane. Top lane's really important just because all the health creeps are out there and that gives you the extra solar that you need to kind of get ahead of the enemy.
So
I can I just say that I had a great time there because I misheard flyers and flowers. So you sent them to get flowers.
Flowers.
And, you get to the top lane, get rid of the creeps, and then you can
get rid of the creeps,
hey,
use the weed whacker on the flowers.
You sent the flowers so you could go to town on the turret. Hey.
No, but keeping top is definitely a huge portion of the early game, and really getting your team for a team fight in the top section earlier on is probably one of the best options. We see this a lot in pub matches. Most teams rush the top, but for those newer people, getting into a team fight in top in the first few seconds of the game and basically establishing your dominance in the top lane is what you're going to be looking to do on AI Station for the early game, that is, i.e. the first 2 minutes of the match. And if you have very bursty characters, you can stay in that top lane and, like Clunk, let's say, if you can time your explode out, well, I see Nada with his grin, the shit-eating grin that he's displaying right now.
Jeez.
But if you have bursty characters like Clunk up top who can time the explode or Derpal nukes, you can catch them off guard, especially in a push. Dropping through the fire. I don't know why people don't want to do this, but drop through the fire if they're pushed against your turret and you have 3 people up top, drop through the fire. There's no reason why you shouldn't be doing that.
You were right about that, and it makes for a great band name.
Through the fire and flames,
no,
carry on.
Dropping through the fire. That's
dropping through the fire.
The Derpal makes a rock band with Scoldier. It's great.
Dropping through the fire.
What instrument does Derpal play? Please enlighten me.
The saxophone.
The saxophone. He has a built-in keyboard synthesizer.
No, have you seen the video like Keyboard Cat? That's Derpal right there.
Anybody else for AI Station, early strats, DDs, dev?
I'd say that it would be really nice to, if you have a right team comp, to push the enemy team as far back as possible on top, make them kind of like really threatened, and then just kind of sneak in the flying droids on the bottom, get one person on bottom, just kind of tap the tower as much as possible, because those towers will go down eventually, and doing as much chip damage as possible early game really makes a big difference.
In the flowers, love it.
Yeah.
I might disagree on that, because if you push back someone on AI Station, there really is nothing to do. There's just, both teams are waiting for droids. Since there's not really an area to fight, you can steal the creeps up top, but then what do you have left? And unless there's an actual engage, no one really goes bottom until there's the flyers in the first wave of droids.
Just
like, if someone's bottom, it's weird.
Well, yeah. There.
I don't know, even Ted, like, why would a Ted be on AI Station on the bottom? He'll fight up top and then just jump down.
Have you ever played with me before? I'm rarely ever with you. I'm always on the bottom lane. You and Mavij or whoever else we're playing with are always on the top lane, and you leave me on the bottom lane.
Yeah, and because you can land your airstrikes, but otherwise, I don't know. I just don't see a point of anyone being bottom lane of AI Station until the first droid wave. You pick up, 8 solar, and then you have to come back upstairs for the fight.
That's the difference.
True. This is true. That being said, what's our next topic, Nada?
Well, in just 3 days, we'll reveal the vault, and you'll see it. That was shit. Oh, no.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the vault.
I was expecting this big explosion or something.
That was your shit-eating grin before. That's what you figured out.
No.
Oh my God.
That was something with a train station.
Was it a train wreck?
You can put that as a title.
Train wreck. The vault. First thing, most noticeable thing, and the most amazing thing that I want to discuss is Voltar. Voltar, the healer, is no longer a healer. Voltar is the god, the assassin, the hunter. Volt Arnold is real. He is coming back with a vengeance, shooting lasers. And he's basically, he has a Ted McPain AA speed now, and it's so terrifying. But obviously it is going to be nerfed at some point, because if this goes into the game, I think I might main Voltar for the rest of eternity. He's just so unbelievably powerful in the beta right now. Let's talk about a few changes with him. One being his heal wave has kind of changed in a sense where it no longer has a no clip going through all things. It is
single target.
It became single target.
Single target. One target must die at a time. Or you get healed at a time, but mostly die at a time.
His AA now is so powerful. It's terrifying. If you just get the attack damage increases on his AA healing wave, whatever you want to call it, it's just so unbelievable. Oh, and by the way, the droids now shoot lasers out of their eyes. So if you thought that sharks with lasers on their heads were scary, now these droids have no-clip lasers.
And they're faster.
Jeez.
And they're faster.
Oh, they are amazing. Actually, with the auto attack, have you seen a Yuri fight a Voltar now?
What do you mean, see a Yuri fight a Voltar? The Yuri's gone before he can even fight the Voltar.
He can't fly. He can't fly anymore because the
they're all
auto
mini
attack.
stuns?
They're all mini knockbacks.
Why would they do that?
And the droids have the laser, if I remember correctly, it's like a tractor beam, so it pulls you in slightly. And in addition to that, the attack speed upgrade currently on Voltar and Beta it does the slight knockback that the original one had. So you're firing mini knockback heal waves.
Oh.
Yeah, they're gonna change that. That's no way that's staying.
Think about
Yuri is
full
already
knockbacks.
enough.
I want to see a Voltar versus a Ted, just full build.
I'd run away. I wouldn't even run away. I just hope and pray that my airstrike stun hits and he can just back off of me a little bit.
Jeez.
Oh, Voltar versus Nibs. Oh, she would get melted. That wouldn't even be a fair fight.
Actually, she does pretty well against Voltar, just because of her mobility in the slow orb, and she does melt with fire breath still. Voltar is still very squishy despite the amount of damage he can put out.
What other stuff on Voltar are we? Oh, the heal droid now
the Healbot
drops a bomb.
Well, that's only one upgrade if you get it, but the most important thing about the Healbot change is that it basically has a pulse that explodes at the end, and I think that's a fantastic change to the Healbot. It makes it a lot more dynamic, a lot more fun to play with. It also heals a lot.
It does. It
450.
really does. The upgrade to it is basically cancel out a ray snipe. It's insane. A maxed out ray snipe without flash, of course.
But that's over time, though. You can take out the heal bot pretty quickly, unless Voltar is just hugging it.
Yeah, but still, like, how much heal can you do, right? Imagine this. The situation is your team is low. You're gonna heal 2 droids and the entire team for, like, 700 times 3 for 5. Like, we're gonna reach, like, 45... Like, whoa... 4,500 HP, more than that. It's gonna be like more than 5,000 HP if you heal your entire team plus 2 droids on the maxed out heal. It's absolutely crazy.
Basically,
heals.
a clunk explode is gonna be negated on everybody. That's awesome. Said no one ever.
The values
if
are a
it
bit
survives,
off.
though.
I think
If it survives, yeah. But if your entire team is hugging the heal bot, and I am pretty sure that damage knots take priority over droids or the heal bot per se.
They
when
do.
damage is being dealt.
They don't. They go.
Oh, never mind then.
It's actually really annoying sometimes. You're gonna hit a droid instead of a nod. Like
Oh, never mind then.
I thought it was the other way around.
I thought it was the other way around.
I'm pretty
I don't
sure
know.
it's whatever is first. I don't think there's any special kind of.
Someone confirm.
We'll get confirmed.
Yeah,
later.
eventually
Run
we'll
the
Confirm.
confirm it.
Confirmed.
Confirm it, please. But I don't know. Voltar
That's-
seems like a powerhouse now, man. He can just do so much damage. That's if he gets to his late game, where he's actually just a god at that point.
I would
But
say mid game, but the way I've been playing him, the matches don't last that long.
you're also doing customs, right? Because obviously you can't do
Yeah, but I
queuing
mean,
up.
customs of people, but the way he heals and the amount of damage if you get that piggy bank early on, he does a lot early game.
Oh yeah, piggy bank on Voltar. What? Why?
Yeah, they brought it back.
Why? They also took
get all
away
your
the
damage.
solar gain on heal wave, which I
Is
think
good.
a great
He doesn't need
idea.
it anymore, though.
He doesn't. Yeah, he really doesn't
Yeah.
need it anymore. It
It
kind of
just-
balanced out in that aspect. But I don't know. That's pretty much all there is to Voltar, if I'm correct in saying that. If anybody has anything else to say about it,
There's no more
Speak
heal pack
now.
surprise. There's now that walking bombshell, which is kind of weird, but works, I guess.
It's kind of weird. I think it should be like lower damage and then appear if it was killed. But it's like a trade-off.
Scaling
you know?
damage, maybe? Yeah, something like that. And also
or
the
just be a
droids.
base ability, to be honest. At
Yeah.
the end, but I don't know. I think that'd be too many.
It's got
things.
insane
It
scaling
heals
damage.
you. Yeah, that's a bit too much. But that being said, let's go into
One
a few
more
more
thing.
Go for it. Go for it.
One last thing. Explosion droids on Voltar have been changed as well. They're still on the ammo system, but instead of fanning all 4 out at a time, or all 3, you launch them 1 at a time, and I think that's a really awesome change.
It is, because now you have to snipe people with them, as opposed to just launching them 9 light years across Serona. and having them
999.
hit you. But if there's nothing else on Voltar, let's go into the next thing. Serona.
I have so much to say about this. Can I just go on a little rant?
Do it!
Do it.
About
Do it
how
now.
amazing those top parts are, because you know the break in the top jungle area is amazing. It is so good for both attacking and defending. It is a great design choice. I am so happy with it. I just played around a bit with it. You can do so much. You can drop down. You can, you chase in someone jukes you around from the boundary, you jump up, but they go back down to the turret, no problem. You just run down to them. It's so good. You're defending, no problem. You go around, you pull them in, you'll shoot them, you'll, clunk explode, you'll do whatever. And it's super great. You're looking for a quick escape. You go up there, grab the HP, go back, run out. Yes!
What about
Someone's
Vinny?
happy.
Makes a lot
What
more
about
accessible.
Vinny? What about Vinny now?
What
And
about
Yuri.
Vinny? Vinny can go be unfortunate because he still has the top, he still has the top area, but now people can do things about it. Speaking of that, the glass plates they added in between the bouncers, good stuff. You can now chase people around up there. It is so much fun. It's actually a really fun place to bounce around and juke around and do stuff.
Pretty sure one thing that they did mention was that those bouncers are no clips for attacks, so you can still gnome snipe people. When I was watching the live stream, you can still gnome snipe people off the bouncers without having it without having it stop on the platform
That is
above.
cool. So I can rift
If
through
I
it as well.
remember correctly, I'm not entirely sure, but the way that they explained it on the live stream was that you can still shoot attacks through them.
They mean between them, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
We'll
But
see.
Still
I
good.
don't know.
Anyway,
I think,
moving on
look
to
at
the
the
worm.
midsection. The midsection in Serona
Yeah, the
now.
midsection, the worm.
Yeah.
Nice. Someone else take over before I drown.
Just everywhere.
It looks like you're having fun. Continue if you want.
Yeah.
I'm sure, because I'm so goddamn hyped about this.
I'll talk about it if you like then.
No, go away. This is mine. This is mine.
Let him have his nerdgasm over Serona.
Go
I
ahead,
have-
Natty.
I have to gas him out here for a moment. I've been pretty quiet, so I'm gonna go redeem myself and say get some bait for the people that are not aware that worm farming is good. Love it. Get the big mid so you can't just cheese it up with Yuri mines. Love it. Just so much more room to battle. No, it doesn't feel like a tight mid choke, whatever. It's actually now it's a passageway. They also, I feel like they made the lip jump much easier to do. So now we're gonna see more people actually get that strategy going. Just so much good stuff. Serona is actually looking to be a map I really want to play on and something I'm gonna look forward to. Now
Do you
we're
know
gonna
who's
start.
going to be really powerful on Serona now?
What you want to say?
Derp.
You want to say Derp?
Derp is going to be
Derp.
so powerful.
You can now line up that perfect drop spot and you'll be ready every time.
I
Yeah.
can. And now, when people think that there's going to be a snare into that midsection, no, there's going to be a snare right at the corner of it. So when you drop in and you think, oh, there's not going to be a snare in the corner, that's exactly where the snare is going to be, right in the corner of that jumper.
One snare traps.
I mean, Derple's little monocle on a top hat. If anyone from Ronimo is listening to this right now, new skin for Derple. Give him a
Gentleman Derple.
Yeah, Gentleman
Mr. Derple.
Gentle Derple.
Gentle Derple.
No, and then Susie would be the butler. Susie would be the butler.
He's got a little tuxedo as his suit.
And then
No,
like
the
a
cats have to
fancy
have
car.
tuxedos.
Yeah.
He's firing the cats with tuxedos on them.
Oh, the penguins. They're penguins now. That's even better.
They're penguins. He's got a monocle and a top hat. Oh, Mr. Monopoly Derple. That's what they have to call him.
Yes,
Mr. Monopoly Derple.
Yes.
Because Zork Industries. You know what? I should start writing some ideas for skins. Hold on.
Yes.
I can draw them.
Back to I'm gonna do a drawing of this at some point. But Sirona changes so big, so huge, vast changes that have come to Sirona, and I think it's really gonna be for the betterment of Sirona, obviously, and competitive play, because now, we're obviously going to be seeing the same thing with Sirona. I hope to see some worm changes where maybe it only eats your opponent's worms. Excuse me, your opponent's droids.
Your opponent's worms.
Look, it's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
All right.
I disagree there. I just want the ability for the worm to stay a little bit longer and eat all the slur underneath it, so people can't farm as easily with it. I feel like it could be a really cool denial thing, but the ability to farm really quickly and farm your own droids is a little bit silly.
That would kind of change the whole mechanic.
It changes the whole map.
Of Sirona,
Yeah.
Sirona, just in general, I feel like after any changes, it's going to be the map to play in just for both fun and competitive games. Like, for the recent tournaments, everyone was either Augion or Ribbit just for being the most balanced. And I'm not sure it's going to be Sirona, but it's definitely going to be up there. Like, a lot more people are going to be willing to play Sirona just because of the high skill level cap that's going to be introduced. You can do so much more in that map.
Turrets still have the same HP, though.
They do. That's probably going to get changed in beta a little bit, though. That's going to get changed.
I think if they buffed it by 5%, it would be fine. It's just me, though. Because they reduced it by 10%. And I think if you up it by 5% now and just kind of even it out, obviously you'll still be able to tear them up, but there's also going to be more incentive to defend them now, as opposed to just let them go. And there is going to be more incentive to attack rather than wait it out and just farm it up, because when you take those first two turrets down, you open up their creep zone and you can use their platforms to get into their creep zone. So the Sirona stall has kind of been changed a little bit in regards to now you can stay in the lane even longer if you're in your opponent's last final push section, because you can steal their creeps instead of going all the way back and coming all the way back for the fight. You just jump up to their creeps, steal the creeps, get the health, and continue your assault on that final turret.
And I think that's going to help with
Voltar. If you have a Voltar with that, that's just nope.
There's no Sirona stall at that point. There's going to be no stall. But I mean, there are a few other features that are coming in with this vault. The replay to video feature, which I think is really cool. You can basically, it's a new interface that you can select and crop out sections of the replay, add them straight to video, upload them at X kilobytes per second, and so on and so forth, and just have a really cool video right off the bat from a replay. So if you're going to make a montage. So for me, example, when I make my snare derple montage,
people running into snares, or
very fun.
I'm being serious. I'm genuinely looking forward to that. I'm going to take your word that you're going to make it.
Yeah,
maybe someday.
I'll watch it.
I don't know. Snare derple is just so fun to play. It angers so many people. It forces people to buy Baby Curry Mammoth, which makes me laugh in the long run.
I love Baby Curry Mammoth. And that's been really useful recently.
What else in the beta? Oh, kill cams! Kill cams.
That's right.
Tell us about them. Dev.
No, I want you guys to do it because because Nada does more videos than I do, and it just for his kill montages, I feel like this is a little bit more appropriate to him. And the Derpal snares, but those aren't kills; those are just snares.
Those aren't kills. Those aren't real kills.
Not yet.
Not kills. Get out of here. I don't understand how you're still hating on Derpal after all we've been through and how many times we've done this, and you guys are still going to shit talk Derpal.
Because it's fun.
Yeah. Okay, so I give it a spin, and it actually works really well. Some things I'd like to see though is I only want to see my kills. So right now you're forced. You're forced to see the entire match and the kills, and as we did the AAC cast with over 60 kills.
Yeah.
If I wanna find a good kill in that, I'm gonna have to sit through potentially 60 kills. So having a feature that will allow me to say I just want to see whenever I did that or whenever he did that, making it a little more, you know.
That would be pretty cool.
Like a search engine.
I could see,
exactly.
I could see the interface being changed a little bit, saying, okay, so say Deities, Devmon, and Nada were in a game versus X people, and you have the option to checkbox out, okay, I want to see kills by Nada and Devmon, or I want to see kills by the opposing team, and you can kind of weed that out and reduce the kill cam to say, okay, I'm going to see kills from Nada and Dev on this one, and then I'm going to see the opposing kills on them as well. So I think the interface can kind of be changed up a little bit to follow specific players, and that'll definitely make things a little bit more smoother in the long run, because maybe you forget what time you got to kill at. Okay, you could just watch your own kills. And I think that would be a pretty cool option. So that's actually a really good suggestion.
See, I was right when I just said Nada knows more than I do.
Oh, I wouldn't say I know more. I've done it a few times.
Yeah.
And I know more about kills than you do.
Yeah.
So, the kill cam feature, the replay to video feature, Sirona, and Voltar. What do you think that last thing in the vault is? What speculation now? It's speculation time.
I'd almost want to say the Starstorm map, but I don't think that's coming because we've got this map rework going on for Sirona, and there's so many big changes going on there, so I think it might be a little while before we see the Starstorm map. Although we've gotten some hints and rumors around it, and it sounds like it's going to be really interesting.
I think it's... Oh, I know! Pick me, Mr. Teacher!
Go ahead! Go ahead!
Go.
A while back, a new type of skin was teased. A skin that does something that no one else does. And I'm pretty sure this is the skin that we're gonna see.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's gonna be a skin reveal.
Wait, I don't know about the skin. What does the skin do?
We don't know yet.
Nobody knows about
I think it
skin.
goes in
that's
the
it?
dark
That's the
or
teaser?
sings you happy
Wait
birthday.
a second. We've got Swords and Soldiers 2 that just came out recently. What if it's somehow tied to that?
A Swords and Soldiers skin? Who would...
Yeah.
Well, what is it? It's the Persians, the demons, and the Nordic race?
Ginny. Why not Ginny and Spike?
No. No. But it's going to be a skin that, as Nada said before, it gives something... I don't know. You phrased it correctly. It does something to the character. Nada?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I really have no idea what it should do. I was thinking lighting effects, sounds, talking to other nods, but that's all been done.
And we've also had the Jotun Skulder skin, which had 2 different versions based on the team. So that's something that we already have. It's going to be different from that, so we can rule that one out.
Ready? It's a Robo-Scoop giveaway for all. You get a Robo-Scoop, I get a Robo-Scoop, everybody gets a Robo-Scoop.
Everyone gets a Robo-Scoop, so anybody who's paid $75 for a Robo-Scoop on eBay gets to cry.
I don't know.
What if they do it?
Really cool though. There's a new skin coming. If Gentleman Derpal comes out, shut up and take my money.
What if they do something that you can upload your own image? Like, I know some games do that, just off the top of my head. I know, it'll probably ruin the game, and just a fun idea, though. You put a picture of your head as, like, the character.
you know what you're going to get
So I'll
instead.
just use my bald head as Ted's head from now on.
As Durple's
I'll
head.
use
Durple's
that-
head.
I'll use it
I
as
see
Durple.
that being a dude.
All fear the beard and the bald head. I don't know. That would be hilarious, though. I don't know. I could see.
That's never gonna happen.
Nada, would you put your head on Raylan?
No, I think that would be
That would be
good
weird.
idea.
I don't know. You'd have to do a crazy face, though, so that it's always just the face of mercy. So you never show a face of mercy.
This is not a face of mercy.
Jeez. And just in chat, does this look like a face of mercy to you? Snipe kill.
My face on Durple. 10 out of 10. Actually, I'm going to shop that tonight and see how it works out.
Let me know. I actually would like to see that.
We'll put it on the gentleman Durple. But,
Do it.
I don't know, do we have anything else in the vault that we should discuss?
Nothing besides the live stream, which I missed. Was there anything else in the live stream that was of importance?
Actually, changes to Voltar's Dynamite. They said that there was going to be an upgrade.
Voltar's
Voltar's
Dynamite.
Dynamite.
I'll
Voltar's
just
Dynamite.
see
Chuck it.
myself
Just
out.
chuck it.
It's been a long
Voltar's Dynamite now, huh?
Lone Star's Dynamite?
Yes, thank you. Lone Star's Dynamite. There was an upgrade that actually reduces the cooldown for every blaster hit you get. And I think they said that was going to take the place of Blindamite.
No! My
Yes.
blind!
I don't
No!
know, is Blind really that useful? To be
I
honest.
love blind. I love
So
it.
annoying.
Because
For
you,
those-
you throw the blind with Mr. TNT at range from Trinamite, you blind them, and then you run in there and then you bullpen them because they don't know what's going on. Also, it sells droid waves.
It's too situational. They should just remove
Yeah.
blind from everyone in the game.
Vinny and
I
Spike,
don't know.
base
What would
ability
happen
does
with Vinny
nothing.
and Spike then?
He's the only one because that's a cloud. Everyone else, like a blind on an attack, just doesn't make sense.
So Swing and Zig Shot? I don't know. That kind of
No,
makes
yeah.
sense to me.
It does make sense to me.
Get rid of Swiggins' shot. Get rid of Raylan's laser pointer. Who else has blind?
Coco.
Coco Ball. Yeah, Coco doesn't need blind. I think not even
That's
All-Star,
fair
just
enough,
Vinny.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Some upgrades. I don't know. I think the Inkshot blind is.
I think
It's
that's
logical,
warranted.
but
It
it's
is-
so
it is.
useless.
Give it. I said before.
I don't know.
it's
Voltar
Forspoken.
blind with his droids.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
my
right.
god, I was blinded for ages.
Only applies on the explosion right now in beta. I'm not sure if it's a bug or not, but it's only applying the explosion. And what I was going to say for Swiggins is that I was hoping that Swiggins would get a 20% or some sort of form of slow on his anchor swing with the was it not seaweed upgrade? So there'd be a different form of CC with his anchor swing, so it would be entirely useless.
You know what? Since Awesomenauts is kind of a cartoonish game, I can see this happening where Swiggins' Inkshot stays on screen, sort of like Sentry's Photon Mines. If you buy the
yeah.
upgrade, it will stay on the screen and like a little Photon Mine kind of ink splatter looking vector. And if you pass it, you get blinded. So that it's like a way to zone out enemies, and if they pass that barrier, you get blinded. Well, it's not doing damage to you, it's just more annoyance, and it creates a barrier. And you can
That'd
also
be
trail droids. Like you can set a trail of ink splatters, aka photon mines, and the droids will completely stall out, and you can just escape the area.
Now, I'm just thinking about how this could be more overpowered. Add a silence to it. Add a silence to
Jeez, that's all you
it.
have to do.
Just add a silence to it. That would be
Yeah,
terrifying.
give Swiggins
Give it
silence.
Inkshot
Because we
with
want to
piercing.
make Swiggins even stronger than he already is.
I think there's a couple things that are really problematic, but otherwise he's a pretty cool character.
Yeah.
I.e. Pool Boy.
Pool Boy, yes. Nerf that, please.
Let me just go ahead and burst down a Genji from full HP in one swift tick.
I would agree to give up Pool Boy if they gave me silence.
Silence on I don't know.
On
don't know.
hook shots.
On
I don't
hook
know.
shot. How does that make sense?
No,
How does that
I
even
don't
make
want,
sense?
I don't want any more silence in this game.
Listen,
No.
you're a Raylan. How's HC bomb? It's pretty powerful, right? Pretty powerful. Okay.
Give me silence then. I'd
Okay,
be happy to have
okay.
silence.
Silence on what?
Well,
Silence
HC
in
bomb.
Time Rift. Step in the time limit.
I'm gonna dash out of wait.
Alright, so this discussion just kind of went to how can we make OP upgrades even more powerful.
Well, in that
Actually,
sense,
no. I don't know.
what would you like to see out of the beta?
I don't know. I maybe a Derpal change. Huh. Maybe so. You know what? No, Derpal does not need changing right now. I'm completely content with the way Derpal works and everything on him.
I'd say he could use some changes that make him less, I don't know, not hard countered per se, but he needs to be more reliable. I think he needs reliability changes to make him a lot stronger in that regard.
Someone needs to be riding a bull. Just make a skin of someone riding a bull instead of like Derpal. Take off his mechanical suit. Just a cat riding a bull.
So
cat bazooka.
I'm looking at this picture that Nana just sent me. And I know maybe we can edit it in somewhere. But he's talking about my snare montage. And I'm not sure if that's a Derpal, or if that's a bomb, or if that's maybe a propeller.
Do you want to send it to me? I can
That's
probably
a
edit it
snare
in right now.
That's a snare trap.
It's a snare trap because it looks like either A blade to a fan, B, a propeller on a plane.
It's a good way to end the. You could like put at the end screen, put it up, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, send it to me. I'm gonna do it right now. Yeah.
Do it now. Do it now.
Give me a link.
It's in the
It's in the
chat. Look at the Skype.
Oh, the Skype. No, put it in Steam chat. I can't. It's gonna ruin the thing.
Fine.
I haven't.
Oh my
uploaded
God,
anywhere.
work.
I'm gonna upload it.
Fine. I got it. So,
sure?
when my snare trap montage comes out, and obviously I'm going to be playing trap music throughout this whole entire thing, just to go along with it, but that's going to be the, what are the, I see what you did here. Everybody is avoiding my snare.
Yeah.
You dick. So wait, I gotta ask now: is that Derpal underneath the snare, or what is that creature?
That's me.
Okay, the picture is up for everyone to see.
Great.
That picture's being shared.
I see the bald head. Where's the beard and the sideburns, though?
The beard fell off. I don't know.
Alright, so you drew Raylan. What the hell's the chicken doing there?
That's Dev.
That's me. You know, the duck with the nice hair.
Yeah.
That's him.
That's great.
Is that a Swiggins or a Voltar? That thing just looks like a monster.
It looks like both.
That's the Swiggins. Don't you see the anchor? Oh my god. You're
what
so blind.
anchor? I see like a half of an arm that doesn't even look like an arm.
It looks like
a banana.
You're fire.
Welcome back to Drawing with Nada. This is your show tonight. Thank you for coming.
We get some Bob Ross in this.
Bob
Ross,
how do you
we
like
have
2
to push
minutes,
into the
okay?
corner right now.
This was like 2 minutes worth of effort from idea to actually posting it.
I like it. I love it.
Alright, where are we at as far as time goes?
We're at the end, actually.
We are sadly wrapping it up because we are out of time.
And everything's going crazy.
I don't see a more perfect
I
ending
feel-
than this.
I feel really
content.
bad for the
I am
SoundCloud
content.
people right now, though.
Yeah.
Whoever
yeah.
listens on SoundCloud will not be able to see Nada's
should-
rendition of my snare montage, which is, by the
Yeah.
way, 8 out of 8. Great
How
bait,
about
mate.
Deb? Right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna probably provide a link in the description. We're gonna put that somewhere, and then Dev, you can go ahead and make the trap music.
There we go.
Whenever you make your
Watch out
montage,
for
I expect that image.
Watch out for
I
traps.
will put it there. I will
Incoming
put it there
traps.
after every
Step
single
out of
kill.
the traps.
After every single kill, I will put that there. Just to instill.
Yes.
Alright,
Now you have to do it. Everyone knows you have to do it.
You have to
It's a
hold me to
trap.
my
And
word.
every episode, we're gonna go ahead and we're
You,
gonna.
you know what I'll
remind
do,
you.
though? I'll put the Admiral Akbar thing every time. Oh, it's a trap!
Oh
And then they
my
run
God.
into it. Or just have that at the beginning. Either way, my name is Oz. It has been fun to do this episode with you guys. I hope to see you guys very soon. We do apologize for the delay in the release of this episode. It should be up What's today? Friday.
Tonight, yeah.
Tonight. Saturday.
It's going to be a good night. No, it's Friday.
Tonight.
It is Friday.
No, I'm saying tonight or Saturday. Man, you guys are just really on my ass today about everything. But my name is Oz. It's been fun. Catch you next time.
My name's Dedes. I'll have this uploaded by tonight, May 22nd, a Friday. And hope you guys enjoyed.
I'm Devmon. I've been digging for a long time now. Archaeology is my goal, and I can dig it. I hope you have a wonderful night.
Can you dig it? Also,
Yes.
for the attentive viewers, they will have noticed Raylan up there.
I don't see Raylan. All I see is a champagne bottle.
Look in front of the champagne bottle.
You just mad though. You just mad.
Yeah, you just man.
Show them. Show them.
Yeah,
Show
we're
them.
gonna
Show them now.
This was Drew. This a friend of mine. He actually made this for me. So it's based on that one.
The post on the forums.
That one post. It looks like.
You just
Very-
mad?
I'm Raylan, and I'm happy.
It's really cool, and I keep it up here. So
Wasn't that from the era where flashy glasses was still solar on hit?
I think so.
The
I'm
era.
gonna keep it here as
The
the
era.
goodbye because I'm not a. And this is like Ray with one arm. So
Nice. All right, do you want to give the thanks, and we'll wrap this up?
A huge thank you to the artists, as always, for putting everything together. And a huge thank you for Robo for really getting our episodes out there and
Ducks.
and the ducks. Thank you. Yeah, we finally got in-game ducks. Woo! The duck grind is finally over. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you guys, and thank all of you for listening in and supporting us. It's been fun. Hopefully we'll have another guest next week as Nada is flipping over Raylan and doing the face.
Oh, we should mention that. So if we're going to have another guest, we should open it up again for applications, but more information will be provided on the official Omi-Cast thread. So check in for that, and we'll have everyone updated.
By Sunday, we should actually have that thread updated
Oh, I can really go
for
for a Sunday.
applications. By Sunday, we'll have that uploaded. Thanks, guys, and we will see you next time.